Well, hello. It is the Sunday video update. This is Jared Fuller. Today is Sunday, February 17th, 2019. Joining me off camera this week is my dad. Amy says she was going to set this one out this week, but she's out in the kitchen getting my dad a cup of coffee.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi, Dad.
Howdy.
I hope you guys had a wonderful week. I was sitting here drinking a cup of coffee, preparing for today's Sunday video update, and Dad and Amy were still asleep, and I was hearing sirens on M57, which is a highway just a mile south of where we live at, and let there be light. And I heard sirens, and then I looked on Facebook real quick to see if, I could find out what was going on, and there is a house fire on Fenmore Road between Burnt and Marion. And at last check, the house was fully engulfed in flames. So my thoughts go out to that family, or to the people who are affected by that fire. Now they're homeless, I hope they're not homeless. I hope they have somewhere to go. I mean, they don't have a house now fully engulfed in flames, but I hope they have somewhere to go, somewhere warm that they can stay. I hope they have relatives that will I hope they'll have relatives that will be kind enough to, let them bunk with them for a while until they get back on their feet. But, wow. Of all times when it's cold outside and we have more snow coming, yeah, we've been getting walloped with everything that Michigan weather has to throw. We've had the frigid cold. We've had the snow. We've had the gusty winds. We've had everything. Dad's call. Who are you calling? Well, okay. I don't know if Judd lives on. He lives on Fenmore Road.
I know.
Okay. What? It's snowing outside. Yep, it sure is. It's snowing outside. Well, they said by tomorrow we were supposed to get, like, I don't know, 2 inches of snow. I'm not sure exactly how much snow we're supposed to get. I'll have to check the forecast again. But really not a whole lot going on around here as of late. I was in Brighton with my brother last week. We had to take a friend down to a clinic or somewhere down in Brighton. I don't even remember the name of it right off. But that was pretty much what I did last week. I just went with my brother on a trip to Brighton. And for the remainder of the week, I pretty much, I don't know, I hung around here. And I hung around here, and then I was up at my Uncle Tim's house. I took my dad out to our propane company to pay our propane bill. It's out between Bridgeport and Frankenmuth in that area. So we went to pay propane, and then we went to my Uncle Tim's house. It was nice, to get to see some family again. I haven't seen family in quite some time. But all things considered, I mean, it was an okay week. I pretty much stayed home, stayed in my bedroom, did a lot of writing in the journal. And Valentine's Day was pretty much the same. I don't have a Valentine, so I pretty much sat home and watched TV. I had a little like a movie marathon in my bedroom because I have a nice collection of DVDs, and so I just kicked back in my room, watched some movies that I have in my DVD collection, and that was about it. And of course, I check Facebook periodically, every so often. I'm on it long enough to swipe through, see what everybody else is up to. When it gets to be too much, I put the phone down. I have enough. Okay, back to my movie marathon. So I stay busy. I stay occupied. I find things to do. And I notice that I'm not inundating myself so much with Facebook, um, anything to do with Facebook, which really helps me a lot. Emotionally, mentally, it helps. Um, because when I go out in public, it seems like everybody has got their faces down like this, and they're doing this shit here with their thumbs, and it's like they're not paying attention to what's happening in the world around them. They think the world is here instead of out here. Not me. I enjoy life in short bursts. Like I go out, visit with people, socialize, do my thing. I respond to text messages, emails. I check Messenger every so often. Uh, I stay up to date on my Facebook notifications. Like I reply to people, respond to people. But for the rest of it, I just pay no attention to it because it's better for me to not inundate myself with everybody else's bullshit. Um, and it's not to say that I don't love my friends. I do. I love my friends dearly, but um, and I'm not the easiest person in the world either, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect. But I check it every so often, or I'll post a couple things here and there, something random or whatever, and then I'll put the phone down and go back to what I was doing. Preferably writing in the journal, which is what I enjoy very much. I had written a poem on, let's see, it was the day before Valentine's Day called the Valentine's Poem. I didn't make a poem video for that yet for my channel, but I will very soon. And I want to remind all of you to visit GuideStar.org. GuideStar.org has a complete and comprehensive listing of all the 501c3 nonprofit organizations and LLCs approved and mandated by the federal government of the United States of America. Don't be fooled, don't be duped. Visit GuideStar.org today. And so, I don't know what else is going on today. I have not a clue. I'm really not even sure what my upcoming plans are. I know I was invited to go out of state to a friend's house. Some of my friends who live in the southern United States, um, they want me to come down soon, and so I've been checking out uh, prices for cheap airline tickets for next month. I'm not. There's nothing written in stone. There's no guarantee yet. I'm still talking with my friend. We're still making negotiations, and so I've been, checking the airlines to see if there's any cheap tickets available, and I'll probably be staying for a few days. But we haven't really discussed anything further, so I'm just waiting to hear back from them to get the okay, and then I'll be getting on another plane. One second, because I did find a ticket that was cheap enough. Come on, Mama. I had to let my cat in. I did find a ticket that was cheap enough, um, and it's round trip, and I'll be flying out of Detroit. So, it all works out, but I'm just waiting to hear back from my friends that I've been invited to go chill with them, go hang with them for a few days. And we also have to discuss, like, how long can I stay, and because I don't want to push my welcome. That's always a big thing for me. I don't want to overstay. I don't want to push my welcome. But I did tell them that if I do come down and, we're going to have fun, but I'm also going to help too. Like if you need help with anything in particular, um, if you need help unloading groceries, or if you need help, you know, picking something up or cleaning something, I'm not going to just sit on my ass all day and watch everybody else do everything. I'm actually going to help. So, and that's exactly what I told my friends in New York. I said, well, I'm not going to just sit on my ass all day. If there's anything I can do to help, please don't hesitate to ask. Like, could you, help me, clean this a little bit, or could you help me pick something up, or hey, could you keep an eye on the kids while I just go next door real quick? Nothing major, no big deal. But yeah, I'm not going to just go and not do anything. And, I talk with my friends quite often. especially the ones who live out of state. And they said, well, you know, we don't want you to come down and be our maid. We want you to come down and have fun. Well, we will have fun, but you know, I don't want my excuse me, I don't want my visit to be where, you know, okay, he's here just for the fun. He's not here, you know, he sits on his ass for the rest of the time. No, 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 no. I want to be able to help if I can, you know. You're nice enough to invite me into your home. The least I can do is help. And, you know, if there's anything you need help with, you know, let me know. Or I'll just be man enough to get up without being asked or told to do it, and I'll just get up and do it. But it's an oversimplification of a point I'm trying to make, but oh well. Here comes Dad. I take it the phone call had ended. So was it his house?
I don't know.
Oh.
Matt, I called Matt. Matt said there's only 2 houses on that road.
Well, it's on Fenmore Road
Yeah.
between Burt and Marion. Yeah.
There's only 2 houses there in that stretch.
Well, the one whatever house it was, they said it was fully engulfed.
Yeah, Training Dave lived down that way too.
Oh, Training Dave. Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know either.
I should be on the news.
No, I don't know.
I doubt it. Yeah.
I didn't even see it on the Facebook pages, the local news Facebook pages. No, I was just telling my friends here that, you know, I might be going out of state at the beginning of next month, probably from the 4th until the 7th. Because, well, you know, and we still have a lot of arrangements to discuss, but I want to make sure that the tickets are cheap enough. You know, I don't want to have to spend a fortune.
$4 or $5 and you can get what you can.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, and I'll be flying from Detroit, and it's a round trip. It's nonstop, so there's not going to be any layovers. You know, I still have my boarding passes from my first flight when I went to New York. When I got on my first ever airline, when I went to New York. I still have my boarding passes as souvenirs, which is
all right, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great actually. My first time flying, it scared the living shit out of me, but lesson learned that when the plane does this number, don't look out the window.
Well, like I
Just
said,
look straight.
like I said, they're not going to have you get out at 30,000 feet and change the tire, flat tire.
No. Yeah, well, I was way up there. I was shaking hands with the clouds.
Looking at the big.
But it was pretty though when you're way up in the air with the clouds.
I told you it was pretty cool.
And I take pictures and recorded some video, and it's like, oh my God, this is beautiful.
I told you it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It's
the clouds and everything.
It's beautiful up there.
Everything looks so tiny.
Speaking of tiny, when we took off from Detroit, I mean, when you look down, you can see all of Detroit. You can see the city. And it's like, you know, a bunch of micro machines and like Monopoly size houses. Everything looks so, you know, minimized when you're way up in the air. But yeah, it was quite the experience. I'm looking forward to going down. But you know, we still have to make some arrangements, or my friends and I have to make some arrangements, and then we'll go from there. But anyway, how was your week?
Well, it could have been better, but hey, we survived.
That's all we can ask for. You were putting down a new floor in our kitchen.
Yeah, I gotta get a saw yet, a little saw.
We got to get some OSB board too, because
I gotta get a saw to finish what I got. Then I got OSB board out here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we do, don't we? I forgot we had the OSB board already, but got to be a certain size, and
we gotta cut it.
The floor will be a little higher, which means that when we
walk out on it, we gotta watch our heads with a fan.
Yeah, we have a ceiling fan in our kitchen.
It ain't really that much, but yeah.
I tried to, because I bought the ceiling fan. I got it for like $40 from Walmart, and
nice out there,
it still looks nice. And I tried to get one of the ceiling huggers, you know, the ones that stay close to the ceiling. And now that we're putting in this new floor, Dad's putting in this new floor, the floors are raised a little higher, and we're tall people,
Uh-huh.
except for Amy. She's just a shorty.
She's just a short thing.
And so we have to watch our head or we have to watch our heads on the blades of the ceiling fan.
Stop it.
That's how I got my hair cut in the first place.
Buddy.
No.
Buddy.
Okay.
Buddy. Stop being mean to Barkley. I said stop being mean to Barkley.
But anyway, stop, buddy.
You hungry?
It's my dog Scruffy.
You want hungry? Are you hungry?
You want hungry?
Okay, you want, come on.
Yeah, you want food.
Let's go get something to eat. Come on, I know you guys are hungry. That's why you're out.
But yeah, really not a whole lot going on. My friends in New York are wanting me to come back too, so that'll be another trip that maybe, I don't know, maybe more during the summer, towards the summer. I'll be going back to New York, like spring or summer. But yeah, I am so looking forward to it. I don't really know what else there is to talk about. I can listen to my dad talk to the dogs. You done talking to the dogs?
Quit jumping on me. I know you got your food out there.
Hey, Scruff. Hey, Bart.
Look at him.
Oh, you're in the kitchen, weren't
Hey.
you? Stop.
Okay, that's enough.
Leave the cat alone.
Run. Leave Mama alone.
They terrorize her so much.
Here, Mama. Go on.
Oh, that was loud. They pick on her all the time. But she fights back. She nicked the dogs a few times. She got them in the nose. And
they won't do that with Baby Boy. Baby Boy. They won't
Well,
do that with Baby
you'll
Boy.
learn.
Baby Boy is Big Tom, and he'll tear them up.
Yeah. Baby Boy will fuck shit up.
Scruffy right by the lip right there on the back of the
Yeah,
nose.
he did.
Fingers.
Yeah, he had his claw right in Scruffy's lip. And boy, he yiked. He yelped.
And he just stood there. Right?
Yeah, so we really haven't been up to too much lately. We were at Uncle Tim's, day before yesterday? We went to pay propane, and then we stopped in there. I had to drive because Dad's van wouldn't start, and
got problems with it.
My van had gas in it. Yeah, Dad, I don't know what it is. His van doesn't like to start. Could it be the cold, or is it the?
I don't know. Could be the cold. I don't know. But
I heard a mention of a fuel pump or a starter.
I noticed if I turn the key on and let it go.
Yeah.
Because usually I get in and start right up. I don't get time for that fuel pump to kick or the gas to go through.
Yeah.
Turn on, let it run for a few seconds, then try it.
Yeah.
So start up.
Yeah.
I gotta check my ground wire on it.
Yeah. Yeah, we had so we sometimes we go to this local restaurant. I wanted to bring this up. Sometimes we go to this local restaurant. It's called the Junction of Hope. It's out in Layton Corners. They are a nonprofit organization. They are the first restaurant in the whole United States of America that employs people with special needs, like people with Down syndrome. And we go there every so often. You know, I love Junction of Hope, and my grandpa goes there. And they have good food, and the prices are reasonable. I mean, and they're really friendly people, so it makes all the difference. But we tried,
He trains them to go to other jobs.
Yeah, he trains them. But the other night, we tried our hand at making a dish for supper that we usually get at Junction of Hope. It's called hot beef and mashed potatoes, or as we call it, hot hamburger and mashed potatoes, which also translates into delicious, because it is. So what it is, hot beef and mashed potatoes, what it is you take 2 slices of bread, you cut them diagonally so you have triangular shaped slices of bread. You take hamburger patties, you know, if they're pre-cut, or you can just, you know, make them yourself. You cook them, and then you take the 2 slices or the 4 slices of bread, you make 2 sandwiches. You know, you put a hamburger patty in each. And then you have mashed potatoes and gravy. I think it was beef
Beef
gravy.
gravy.
Beef gravy.
Original beef gravy.
And after you prepare the mashed potatoes, or you can do instant if you
Yeah.
prefer, I guess, instant the potato flakes. You put a big glop of mashed potatoes in the middle on the plate, and then you have your two sandwiches on the side, and then you take the beef gravy, you warm it up,
Pour it out.
and then you smother all of it in beef gravy.
Oh, it's good.
Add salt and pepper.
That's good.
Yes, it was.
Turned out pretty good.
It was awesome.
Turned out good too, didn't
It was a fucking okay.
Well, we know what we're gonna make now.
Yeah. Now that I know that we can make it, it's really good. It's really good. We get that every time we go to Junction of Hope. It's really
And
delicious.
toast.
Or the eggs and toast. Yeah, we get the eggs, bacon, and toast. It's how do I order this? It's white toast, bacon crispy, and eggs sunny side up. That's how I order mine.
That's what I do too.
Yep. And we have our coffee. And man, I gotta quit talking about food. Getting hungry again. But yeah, that we thought we'd try our hand at this dish, and it turned out really good. I peeled the potatoes and boiled them and mashed them, whatever. And Dad did the rest. He just cooked a hamburger, and he bought a jar of gravy.
2 jars of gravy.
Oh my God, it was good.
Beef gravy.
Original beef gravy. It was awesome. And it doesn't take much to prepare it. Yeah, I had a full. I'm just sitting at the table, and Dad's like, "Gee, take a breath, will you?" It was good. I do the same thing at the restaurant.
I come home, ate it, and I went to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, I when I'm at the restaurant, because they give them to you on platters instead of regular, plates. And I can sit there and put it away, eat it, and Dad will look at me like, "Damn, son, take a breath." I'm sorry, it's just good, I'm just scarfing this down, and oh my God, it's now that I know we can make it, might make it more often. That'll be something else we'll have to start making.
Hamburgers and all that stuff.
It's like Amy, she makes her tuna noodle casserole,
Which went good.
and she makes meatloaf and mashed potatoes, which is also good.
Yeah.
We both made the hot hamburger mashed potatoes, hot beef, and
Or sometimes I'll just make a soup.
yeah, sometimes he'll make a soup. I like to make taco salad, and I like to prepare chicken, like shake and bake chicken, and fettuccine alfredo or angel hair pasta, or I'll have the shake and bake, the chicken drumsticks with Velveeta shells, macaroni and cheese.
Deep fried fish.
And Dad loves deep fried fish. I love deep fried
mushrooms and
cod and
tater tots or
the cheddar munchers. And cheddar munchers are pretty much just, they're breaded. I don't know. They're
potatoes with cheese.
Yeah, they're breaded potatoes, like kind of like tater tots, but they've got cheese in them. And they're, instead of like log shaped like a tater tot, they're actually round. And they've got cheese in them. Oh, they're so good, especially when you deep fry them. That's the only way you can make them, deep fry them. And we get that from Nixon's over here in Brant, just up the road. All this talk about food, getting hungry. Yeah, we cook all kinds of stuff around here. I enjoy cooking. Yeah, we cook too much. Like Dad just got this great big slow cooker, and it's huge. And I love to buy shank ham. When I buy ham, I buy the shank ham with the bone, and now we'll have something to
cook it right in it.
Just put the whole thing right in it. Yep, I love ham.
Put it on slow cook or
yeah,
fast cook. It's got a timer on it.
Yeah, I love shank ham. Shank ham is the best.
Put it on for 2 hours, set the thing, and then it'll cool down.
Yeah.
In 2 hours.
Yep. And it was Thanksgiving. The first time I'd ever made deviled eggs. Yeah. And they turned out good.
They were quick.
Yeah. Now that I know how to make them,
We had
it's
a nice Thanksgiving dinner too.
yeah, it was awesome. I pigged out.
Yep.
We didn't do anything for Christmas though, did
Me,
we?
you, and Aiden, and Jay come over.
Yeah, Jay, my brother Jay was here. We didn't do anything for Christmas though, did we?
No, we went
Christmas
to
dinner?
Amy's mom's.
That's right. I stayed home. That's right. I stayed home by myself.
Yeah, he wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, Christmas, just another day. For those of you who are friends with me on Facebook, you probably noticed I shared some pictures from my younger days. And one of the pictures I shared was when I was a baby. It was my first Christmas. It was in December 1986, my very first Christmas. I was sitting on Santa Claus' lap, and my brother Jay, who was 6 at the time, now just old, he was standing next to Santa Claus. He's going to kick my ass after he hears this, but he was standing next to Santa Claus, and he was smiling. He had teeth missing in the front, the bottom, and it was cute. It's like, oh my gosh, because I was just kind of looking at some files on my computer.
Beard wasn't fake.
No, it was his real hair. And I was just looking through some pictures of, that I had stored on my computer and totally forgotten about them. And I'm, oh my God, and I pulled this up and I said, Dad, check this out. And he says, yeah, I remember that. And I said, well, what the hell was I looking at? Because I was just a baby at the time. I was 5 months old. And I'm looking off like this. I'm not even looking at the camera. Back then, One Step, the Kodak One Step, or no, Polaroid. Polaroid One Step cameras were big back then. And I'm looking off over here, like away from the camera, my brother Jay standing smiling with his red curls. And I couldn't understand what was I looking at. And I found out from my mother that my dad here was trying to get me to smile for the camera by making silly faces. And I thought Howard the Duck was in the room. For those of you who were around in 1986 and remember Howard the Duck.
The movie in there, Howard the Duck.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the movie, Howard the Duck.
We got it.
We do?
Right in there.
Oh.
We just got it.
Or it could have been the Beastie Boys, They fight for the right to party. And that came out in 86. Maybe they were just promoting their new record. I don't know. But yeah, it was kind of interesting to go back and look through some of those old pictures from when I was younger, when I was a kid. And
no more the days.
Yeah. I found a picture of when we lived on the farmhouse on Chapin Road, where I'm sitting with this giant yellow rabbit. I'm probably, I'd say, 3 years old at the time, and I'm in my bedroom, and I used to love stuffed animals when I was a kid. Jared Bear is my main man, but I love, I had this extreme love for plush animals when I was a child. I had stuffed animals everywhere. And I was sitting like on the lap, quote unquote, of this big yellow rabbit that Dad would remember.
Yeah.
That thing was huge. And the dresser, that I talk about in my Facebook post, I had a dresser that was up against a door in my bedroom, and the door was covered in plastic. Well, on top of that dresser, I had an AM/FM stereo turntable. I'd have an AM/FM stereo turntable, and every night, and I swear this was like all the time, every night, I would fall asleep. I would fall asleep to "Forever in Love" by Kenny G. I'd be lying in my bed, and I'd hold my Jared Bear. I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 at the time when the song come out, and they played it over and over and over every night. And I'd fall asleep to the sound of the horn. And I'll never forget it. I can remember all kinds of stuff from my childhood when we lived in the farmhouse on Chapin Road. Those were probably the best years, although all things considered, in that same house, that was when I was diagnosed with Wilms tumor. But we had a lot of wonderful times too. And it was times were tough, but that's when we all stuck together. You know, we were a tight unit. We were a family. When one went through something, we all went through something. Nowadays, it's pretty much every man for himself. Hello, Amy.
Hello, Jared.
Now it's pretty much every man for himself. Families are more divided now than they've ever been. I think we've lost that value in our culture now. Not to make too big a deal about this, but you know, I go out in public a lot, and sometimes I'll go to a restaurant, I'll sit down and I'll order food, wait for my food to be prepared and brought out. And I look around at all the other people who are in the restaurant, and you know, they're waiting for their food as well. I swear, parents and kids don't talk around the table anymore. They don't discuss how their day went. They're all looking down at their phones doing this number with their thumbs. They're working those opposable thumbs. And I'm opposed to that kind of a life now. I'm opposed to it because although I have a cell phone, I mean, I don't have kids, but I do have a cell phone. When I'm out in public, like when I go out to eat with my dad or Amy or just friends in general, I put my phone in my pocket. Now, sometimes when I'm waiting for my food, I'll pull out the phone and do a quick swipe and see what's going on, but then I'm done. I want to go back to the people that I'm sitting at the table with. That's where the conversations are, not with people on a fucking cell phone. I want to sit and talk with people that are 2 feet away from me, you know?
There in person.
Yeah, people who are physically there with me. If I get a text message or an email, or not an email, but if I get a text message or a message pops up in Messenger, you know what? It can wait until I'm done. I'm not one of these people, oh, something dinged, I gotta hurry up and get my phone out. Fuck all that. It can wait. And,
Call you back,
huh?
or if my phone rings, I say call me back.
Yeah, like when I'm out and about by
Answer it.
myself,
I won't answer it.
when I'm out and about by myself, you know, I stop and get a bite to eat if I got the extra money. And dad will call me just to make sure, you know, hey, where are you at? Is everything okay? Yep, everything's good. I
Down
stopped.
back 40.
I stopped and got a bite to eat. Sometimes I go to the back 40, or if I go on a joyride somewhere, I'll stop off at McDonald's or one of the, you know, fast food burger joints and get a bite to eat. You know, but he calls me to check on me to make sure I'm okay, and I'm always okay. It's just
17.
it's everybody else I have to watch. Yeah, today's the 17th.
Hopefully it hurries up and gets rid of this weather.
Well, it's gonna be sticking around for a while. Although, you know, the Punxsutawney Phil, the groundhog, says spring's gonna come early.
I don't believe that groundhog one.
It's a myth. We're gonna get 6 weeks of winter, regardless if that son of a bitch sees a shadow or not. But yeah, but that, you know, back to the cell phone thing for a minute. I remember, you know, even when I was growing up, and mom and dad would take us out to, you know, to a public restaurant. You remember Buddy's?
Yeah.
Buddy's place here on the highway?
That gas station right there.
Yeah. Went back in, I think, 90 something, like around the time we moved in here in this house. It was like 97 or 98. There was a restaurant on M52 called Buddy's Place. And where Express Stop is now, all that wasn't there before. That it was just a little tiny dinky gas station.
Before mom and grandma even died, Jared.
It was a puny little gas station, and my dad used to work there. Well, now it's an express stop. It's a bit like a truck stop.
Yeah.
Well, there used to be a restaurant that sat next to, you know, the Sunoco gas station, but it was on an angle, and it was called Buddy's Place. And we used to go there to eat all the time. And when we would go there, we didn't have Facebook. Facebook wasn't even out yet. And it wasn't even launched. And we would sit among the table and have actual conversation. We didn't have smartphones. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have Twitter. We didn't have, you know, we didn't have all this shit that we have now. And I call it shit lightly because I find some use in it. But now it's every second of every day. People are hooked on their phones. They're obsessed. And another thing about social media that I don't like is this idea that it fosters narcissism. That everybody is so hell-bent on leadership that let's put it on Facebook and I'm so cute and I'm so important, I'm so special. No, you're not. You know what? Do things in the world without this incessant need to put it on Facebook. I think we've lost that about ourselves too.
A lot of people do that.
You
I don't
can't.
know why they do that, but they do it.
You know what? We help people behind closed doors, even when nobody's looking. Dad and I, we help people a lot. We don't have this need or desire to plaster it all over social media. Now, if the people that we help want to put it on Facebook, well, there's nothing we can do about
That's
that.
fine, you know.
Yeah, we can't tell them not to. I mean, we could request that they don't, but it's ultimately up to them. He wants in. But we don't do it for the popularity.
Oh, boy.
We help people. We help people because
They want to.
we want to, and you know
Good
what?
people.
One day that could be us, and we would only hope that someone would help us too. If we should end up in those same circumstances, I don't. Yeah, I don't have this need to put everything out there. You know, I read a column on, or it was a meme on Facebook, and there were a bunch of comments that followed. It was on a thread, and the one, I think the meme had something to do. You know what? Keep your life low key or something like that, where you don't have to put everything out there. And then there was someone who said, yeah, but what if you sponsor a child, or what if you're donating blood? You know, you want to share those things to inspire other people to do that. Okay, that's fine. I have nothing against wanting to inspire people. But when, and I see this a lot, it's every little thing, every little thing. Oh, I pulled out a chair for somebody. Oh, I opened a door for somebody. Oh, look at me. I'm giving back to kids. I'm going to the hospitals and I'm doing this and I'm doing that.
This guy helped this lady. Or
Aren't I so special? No. You're doing what is expected of you in the world by being a good person, first of all.
Right. To do the main thing for people.
And second of all, when you put it on Facebook, it just devalues the deed. It kills it. Because when you put it on, the very minute you put it on Facebook, now you are looking for validation. You are looking for approval. And I just think it's a crock of shit. Help people in the world. Just do your thing.
That's what life's about.
You know, I mean,
helping each other.
If I see somebody broke down on the side of the road, yes, I stop. That's just who I am. Dad does the same thing. We don't put it on social media. We don't put it out there for people to,
If somebody says, hey, thank you, I want to thank this person for their generosity of stopping and helping.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I mean,
you'll write back. You're very welcome anytime, that's what we do.
I mean, my ego is not so fragile that I deliberately create scenarios in which I need my ego to be fed. I'm not that pitiful.
Just like when that lady got in that accident.
Yeah.
We helped her. We were the only one that stopped.
Yeah. I mean, there was a guy that was broke, an older gentleman. He was in Brant, right in Brant at the light.
Yeah.
And his car, he was broke down at the hall there in Brant. And I forget where I was coming from that day. I was coming down Hemlock Road through Brant, but I don't remember where I was coming from. But I noticed the guy, his hood was popped up. And I stopped because I saw it was an older gentleman. I said, is there any way I could help you, sir? And he says, no. I said, well, I can go over to Nixon's and get you a drink or a snack. I had a few extra bucks on me. I said, well, would you like a drink or a snack? No, I'm okay. Thank you for stopping anyway, young man. He says, we need more people like you in the world. Well, maybe that's, I don't know. I didn't do it for that.
Just like when we were up in Elma, me and Amy, that man was out there shoveling that snow off of that driveway at that bank. He's a retired man, and he was an older guy, gentleman, and he was really cold and that. I thought, well, flip over to McDonald's, get him a cup of coffee.
Right.
First, I said, sir, it's cold, ain't you? Yeah, it's cold. I said, you like a cup of coffee? I was going anyway. Oh yeah, I like a cup of coffee. I said, what do you want? What do you want in it? You know, a large or a small or what? He said, oh, I don't know. I take sugar, so I went over and bought him a large one. I took it over and handed to him. He says, well, thank you very much. You didn't have to do that. I said, well,
Yeah.
I'm taking girlfriend in there, get something to eat, and I'm going to get some coffee. Thought maybe you'd like a hot cup to keep warm. He said, I appreciate that. He said, there's not many young people like you that would do something like that for a gentleman like me or
Yeah.
whoever. I said, well, hey. Then I found out that his wife had passed away. His wife worked there for a good many years, and he promised his wife he would keep that shoveled off for her. That was nice.
That's.
I mean, he was real grateful for it.
You know, and that scares me too. The very thought of that, because the older generation, without them, we wouldn't be where we are today.
No.
They shaped the world to be what it is now. And this younger generation, this self-righteous, entitled, self-absorbed, narcissistic, egocentric generation that we live in, they don't understand, or they forget to realize that it's the older generation that cultivated our society. Without them, we wouldn't have a lot of the things that we have now.
Wouldn't have General Motors, wouldn't have any of those places.
They built a lot of these empires that we have, you know. Yeah, I mean.
Then when they retired, then the younger generations worked there.
Yeah, they laid the groundwork for future generations. And when the older people pass on, when all the old people die, we're totally fucked. I mean, because all the younger people now, they think, well, we're going to take over the world and we're going to make it the way we want it. Yeah, and it's not looking good, because we've already got people who they don't care about truth. They don't care if they get caught. They make up shit in their own head, and then they perpetuate it among a bunch of people who also don't think for themselves, and then they want to believe what they're told.
Just like with these young kids, they get brand new cars that their parents buy them. Jeez,
yeah.
My parents don't buy me cars. They told me to get up and get a job. That's what I did.
Yep.
Get my first vehicle.
And as a footnote to that, my parents didn't buy my first car for me either. I bought my own car.
But I do help with mechanical.
Well, yeah.
Help you, but you're learning too.
I'm learning how to do things on my own. I mean, my very first car.
Learn how to work on cars by me.
My very first car was a 1997 Saturn SL2, and it was a 4-door, had the spoilers on the back, and it was a 4-cylinder, and it was the car in which I got my driver's license. And I'll never forget it. I missed that little car.
Just like you were going to give up on getting your driver's license.
Yeah, I almost quit because I failed the written test. I failed the written test, took it again, and passed.
And I told you, no, you get your butt back.
The road test. That was the road test you're talking about.
I told you, get back there and do it again.
I failed it the first time. Dad says, get your ass back in there and do it again. I went back in, paid, what was it, $47?
Yep.
And took the road test again and passed. So now I drive all over hell. But it was at Saturn that I learned how to drive. And I learned a lot of things I'm learning some things about auto mechanics. I'm not privy to that kind of thing. But
nowadays they got all these electronic stuff.
Yeah.
And newer cars that has no distributor caps or
carbs.
Carburetors.
Yeah.
Or things like that. The older style vehicles.
Yeah.
I love the older style vehicles because you can go get a part, slap it on, you're good to go.
Yeah.
These newer ones, like your van or my van.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah, it's all electronic, and they have the new hybrid vehicles too.
They're a pain in the butt.
And they are expensive as hell.
Yeah.
And the replacement parts. I mean.
Yeah, replacement.
Good
parts.
grief, God Almighty, they're expensive. And
the labor on them.
Yeah, and that's separate. We haven't even talked about labor to put all this shit on.
Yeah.
I mean, the parts alone are expensive.
I try to do things myself.
But when you take it to a garage and they want to charge you an arm and a leg for the labor, holy shit. It's, yeah.
Outrageous.
Yeah, it is.
I can't afford it.
I would love to have I don't know. I would like to have a new car,
Me too.
like a
But
newer car, but at what cost?
I'd like to have a new truck too, but I can't pay
Because
$300 a month.
well, in terms of financing, but what I'm saying is I'd like to have a new vehicle, but at what cost? Because
Much as you pay for a car, you can buy a house.
yeah, well but if something goes wrong on that vehicle,
Yeah.
the parts are going to kill you. They're going to eat you alive.
Cost his uncle $400 to get it fixed.
And again, I haven't even talked about the labor to put the part onto the, the garages. They, their time is money, and
They got to make the money though.
yeah, they make an arm and a leg. And could you just imagine a transmission on a new hybrid?
Well, look at the van, my van, and look at the price it's going to cost me to have it fixed. $400.
Yeah.
I paid $500 for it. Why would I spend another $400 put in when it's got almost 300,000 miles on it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's just a
Right.
waste of money and stuff.
Yeah.
For me. Yep.
Speaking of my van, because I drive a Chrysler, I posted another picture from my childhood. I was sitting in my Radio Flyer wagon, on Chapin Road there, and I had noticed that the name of the wagon, it's Radio Flyer, but it's Town and Country.
Yeah.
I drive a Town and Country, a Chrysler. And another thing that's funny about that is, according to the mission, according to the title, because there's windows all around my van, it's considered a station wagon.
Yeah.
Radio Flyer wagon, Town and Country. Chrysler Town and Country van, considered station wagon. I don't know. Just I got to thinking about that. It's like, man, that's
weird.
That's crazy shit. But yeah, it's weird how everything falls into place like that. But did we have any plans today, or?
I gotta go uptown. I gotta go to John's.
Go up to our buddy's house.
Yeah. Work on a vehicle.
Yep. Dad works on a lot of vehicles. I don't know what our plans are for this week. I don't know what our plans are this week.
You gotta take her Tuesday to.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta take Amy to Flint on Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
Gotta take her to Flint.
Then I gotta turn around and take her again on.
And
27th.
Tomorrow, I don't think mail runs tomorrow.
No,
tomorrow's President's Day, so no mail delivery.
Good, no bills.
No news is good news.
Unless it's a big fat check.
Yeah, then I want my money. But that never happened.
I gotta get my taxes done.
Yeah, we gotta go to the income tax place because you made an appointment with them, right?
Yeah, I've already made an appointment at
Uncle Tim's. Oh yeah, that's right. You did call them from Uncle Tim's. Uncle Tim has a Facebook page now.
Does he? Oh.
I think one of the kids set it up because
I don't know.
Uncle Tim, not saying anything bad about Uncle Tim, but he gets on the computer, but a lot of the time he doesn't know how to use it. Like, he doesn't know.
I still don't know how to use them.
Well, you get on Facebook.
Well, I get on Facebook,
and you type things out, but it takes Dad a while. He goes one key at a time, but it takes him a while. He'll ask me, how do you spell this word, and where's this letter at? And I show him. You're getting better at it, though.
I tell you to get on here and type this down.
Yeah, just, I'll tell you what to say, or what I want to say. You write it because you type fast. You can get it done.
I'd be an hour on it just getting 2 words.
Yeah. Well, the thing is people think that we're the same people.
No, we're not the same people. Unless you're 60 years
old.
We're
not. We're not the same people. But if Dad wants a post written fast, because I'm familiar with the keyboard, and this is what I want to say. Can you? Yeah, sure.
And people think that I'm the one that's not mine. I just
have
you type it for me because I can't do it fast.
Because I'm a fast typer, and now the people are going to share this and say, "See, I told you Jared was his dad." No, we're 2 totally different fucking people. We're not the same.
58, Jared, you look pretty young for being 50.
I mean, I look good for being 60 years old.
Yeah, really.
And you look.
Yeah, I look. Yeah, that's just it.
God, I'm such a dick. Yeah, I mean, you know,
She's giving me the fingers to come in.
oh, you could have said, "Hey, Wayne, get your ass in here."
You're doing a video, so I won't.
That's all right. I've been swearing left and right. Who gives a shit? Yeah, I don't know what's going on this week. Probably just hanging around, not sure what's going on. Other than I have to take Amy to Flint, and we have an appointment at the local income tax place. So there's two plans that I know of this week. For the rest of the week, anything in between, I have no clue what's going on. But I'm sure I'll be busy. I'm sure I'll be around. I'll be answering text messages and emails and Messenger, and periodically checking my Facebook notifications. So I'll always be within reach. I'll always have people to talk to and friends who will reach out to me and I'll reach back. The typical thing. But other than that, I mean, I'm doing great. I mean, I spend. See, this is what happened before, and I had written about this in my journal. Is that before Facebook? Because I was writing journals even before Facebook was launched. I was already writing journals, poetry, the whole nine. I first joined Facebook in 2010. And when I joined Facebook, at that time I was in my 100th journal book. And when I started focusing more on Facebook, it was taking away from my time to write in my journal. That I was losing focus and sight of my writing, something I had been devoted to, for I think at that time was 11 years prior to me joining Facebook. I've been on Facebook now for next year will be 10 years because I've been on and off Facebook since 2010. But my writing had eventually slowed down and then would eventually come to a complete stop because all my time was focused on social media and my friends. I talk to my friends. Um, so I think we can still hear you. No, but my writing would stop completely. Eventually, it would just come to a screeching halt. Now that I spend less time on Facebook, like I check it in moderation, I go back every so often. I go back to my journal. I've been writing a lot in my journal. My focus stays on my journal. I write out all my thoughts, and therefore, if I'm not inundating myself with constant irrelevant bullshit by everybody else, it's not damaging or harmful to my mental state, to my psyche, because I'm more focused on where I started out in the first place. I'm not saying I'm disregarding my friends. I'm not saying I don't love my friends. I mean, that couldn't be further from the truth. I love my friends dearly with all my heart, but I got to have time for myself too. And when I'm inundating myself, when I'm engaging in all this bullshit and drama on Facebook and social media in general, I'm not getting anywhere. And so what I do is I write a lot in my journal. I watch television or I go for rides. Like if Dad's going somewhere, he'll say, "Well, Jared, let's go. You want to ride with me?" Sure, I'll go with you. I try to get involved. I try to stay as actively involved as possible in charities and things like that. And of course, I talk to my friends. There's people who want me to come back to their house. There's people who want me to come. I had mentioned at the top of the video. There's people who want me to come down for the first time. I've never been in the southern United States, but I'm looking quite forward to that. There's so much going on. I keep in touch with my friends. I still keep in contact with my friends, but I'm not always doing it through the means of Facebook. A lot of people I text, I email and text, and I check Messenger. I periodically check my Facebook notifications, and I respond in moderation. And I keep myself fucking sane by not spending so much time on Facebook. And sometimes I even check YouTube. Like I'll watch YouTube videos, and I'll just check out YouTube videos. I'll watch instructional videos, or I like to listen to other people talk. And it's comforting to not worry about what other people, there's people on the internet who love to cause problems. They live to cause problems because they're just losers and they have nothing better to do. That's it. They have nothing better to do. And while there are lots of wonderful people in the world, and I don't want to denounce people who are, trying to make a difference and trying to inspire people, but there is a fine line between wanting to inspire versus look at me. Aren't I special? And that's what I see on Facebook a lot. And a lot of people say, well, Jared, so what if they're showboating? Let them have it. At least we're seeing some good news in the world. Sure, I'll give you that. But there's people, and it's just like I was telling my dad, there are people in this world now, everybody is so hell-bent on leadership. I'm not a leader and I'm not a follower. I'm just walking my own fine line through life. If I inspire people along the way, cool. I'm not actively, focused on inspiring people, at least not as much as I thought I was. My focus is just me walking that fine line in my life, and other people see that, they're inspired by it. And it's one of the reasons why I did, started this YouTube channel, and I do the Sunday video updates, because I want people to understand that they also have a voice and they can use it. But if you're just going to come on here to be a dick and to run people's names into the dirt, well, I mean, then you are up to no good. You are not working for the betterment of humanity. You just like to start shit with people. Not me. I don't inundate myself with everybody else's crap. I stay far away from that. I detach myself from everybody's drama. They want to talk shit about me. There's nothing I can do. But obviously, because they give me so much of their precious time, I must be important to them, because they keep coming back to my YouTube channel here and they love to listen to me speak. Obviously, they must have like some kind of secret crush on me or something. They're secretly in love with me. Well, I know I'm handsome, but here's the thing. Valentine's Day was last week. You should have said something last week. Because the thing about haters is they need the most love. So it's why I don't give them the time of day. At least I try not to. If I see something or someone will bring something to my attention, hey, do you see what these people are saying? I don't give a fuck what they're saying about me. That's not my problem. They're going to talk regardless. I mean, at this point, because you've seen it, if you want to believe something is true for no good reason, well, that's not my fucking problem. It's yours. And if you don't believe in getting both sides of a story and you want to believe what people tell you, then it's probably best that you're not in my life anymore. It's best that you detach yourself from me. But don't ever forget what I did for you while we were friends, which is another reason why I've kind of toned it down on reaching out to people, because I am sick and tired of having my heart ripped out of my chest, and I am tired of being used by people. I am tired of bending over backwards for people who are unappreciative. That's why I've toned it down with child of cancer awareness on my Facebook page. It's why I might share a couple posts here and there, pertaining to child of cancer, but I'm not as into it. I'm not as passionate about it as I used to be, because, the people that I try to help, it just turns out to be a bitter, major disappointment.
Joke.
I don't look at it as a joke. They look at it as a joke. Well, let's get what we can get from Jared, and then the minute we find out something, fuck him. We're gonna ditch him.
I'm going out and start my van, see if it'll start up. Me and Amy's got to go Chesaning and then go Wassel.
What do you go to Wassel for?
I'm gonna take her mom. Her mom wants to go up to the cemetery.
Yeah.
Because today's Art's birthday, and Joe's gonna follow us out there with a truck because they ain't even snowplowed it yet. Joe's gonna make tracks through there so we get through there with that van. But I gotta drive her mom's van. Because what's her name? Tammy is sick today.
Which means no smoking or anything the whole time we're with my mother.
No smoking cigarettes, huh?
Okay. I'm gonna see if that'll start.
Okay, honey. I gotta get my boots and stuff on.
So you're kind of partially semi-joining us, although I've been here for over an hour already. Holy
You know
shish
what?
kebab!
I look big on camera. I'm not stepping off.
I look big on camera too. So, but you know, I've taken your advice on detaching myself from bullshit, because when I'm
I've
not
noticed it.
when I'm not paying attention to everybody else's big mouths and gossiping, I'm better off. Like,
You know, honestly, I have one friend,
yeah,
which is Tammy Jordan,
uh-huh.
that
Hi, Tammy.
that I talk to
Mm-hmm.
on Messenger.
Yeah,
And the rest of the day, when she's not on or she's busy doing something, I'm just playing games.
we love Tammy, by the way.
Yes, we do.
We love
And
Tammy.
Tammy, you need to come and visit us.
Yeah, come to Michigan and visit us. We'll make room for
Or
you.
like I said, we'll split the money. You give us money to come there, and we'll put money in with it.
Yeah.
We'll come there.
It won't start. Where's my van key at? Well, my van's parked in the driveway, but my key's right here. If you need a jump.
What, you want out, Barkley? Gotta go out again? No, both of you can't get in here. Get in here.
So, if your van won't start, do you want me to take you to Owasso?
I should start. No, because then what are you gonna do? Because we gotta go clear up
True.
the cemetery by open.
True.
Yeah, it's way out there by the oil. Those big white.
The big white oil tower thing on Ovid.
Way out there.
Oh, it's not that far.
Well, no, but then you gotta deal with my brother and my mom. And
I'm having a good day. I don't want to have to listen to drama and bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just what I was telling my friends here. It's that
I agree with you, Jared. When someone needs you, they want you to jump.
Yeah. All the fucking time. They want you there when the minute they need you, we become the go-to. But the minute they hear something about you, or the minute they get what they want or don't.
I understand. This is for my mother.
Yeah.
Something we're doing for my mom.
But don't be using people.
No. My brother, though, he'll call up. So-and-so's down sick. Is there any way you could, like today, he calls. And Tammy's down sick. She's been down sick for the last couple days. Is there any way that you can come and help me get
and who's her power of attorney? Does she have one?
No, she is.
She's her own power of attorney? So she can refuse to go to the hospital if she's sick. Wow. That's a fucked up situation.
But we've noticed that since my dad has passed on, my mom, she even gets a slight headache. She's running to the hospital.
So take an aspirin or I don't know if she can take aspirin, but they have OTC for headaches.
Yeah.
We don't need to jump up and rush her to the emergency room, but she may not be in the...
No, the thing is she's got 2 blood clots.
Yeah.
In the brain.
Well, I figured maybe not to say anything bad, but maybe not in the right state of mind. And it's like an instant panic mode.
Yeah. My brother is found out supposedly she doesn't have dementia.
Well, I hope not.
She just has a slight case of Alzheimer's. So it's not as bad as what everyone thought it was.
Yeah. Sounds like the van started.
But the thing I'm afraid of is he's just saying that just not to upset me, because he knows how I get so upset.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm trying to stay out of the hospital for another year.
I had thought about going to the stress unit, because I get so stressed about a lot of things.
And you know what they'll do?
If I need to go, I'm going.
Right. The only thing they'll do is, you know how Dr. Small prescribed you meds.
And he's not my doctor anymore, by the way.
And you don't
Yeah.
have him.
Yeah.
So the thing that they will do is they dry you out from that meds.
Yeah.
Overnight.
Yeah.
And just give you like an Ativan to relax you and help you sleep. Benadryl for the first night.
Yeah.
And then when you go in, the doctor will come in and ask you to, like, if you're in a meeting, whatever, he'll come in and say, like that.
Yeah.
And then
The
you
finger
go.
gesture.
Yeah, you'll go and you'll deal with him, and then he will.
So it's just it's a process.
Yeah. But once he sees you, you sit down, you talk about what's going on.
And by the way, I want to also clarify that the stress unit is not a mental hospital.
No.
It's just a place to relax. It's not,
a place to relax, and it's a place to relax in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And
they help you get through troubled times if you are going through things that are just overwhelming. You go to group meetings and things like that.
Yeah,
they
teach you ways of dealing with what's going on.
Yeah. And it's not a mental hospital. It's not a mental institution. And I don't want to scrutinize mental institutions either. So please don't, please reject the notion that mental institutions are bad. They're not bad. They're for people who need it. But the stress unit is not a mental institution. It's at a regular hospital, and I think it's on 2 North, I think is the name of the floor, at Memorial in Owasso. I've considered going there just to get away from everything and everybody. But I've noticed too, like when I'm writing in my journal or I'm going on joyrides, it helps to relieve stress and anxiety. So maybe I don't need the stress unit. I can just handle shit on my own. But it's there when and if you need it. Amy's been there a few times in the stress unit because she hits rock bottom emotionally, and they help bring her back up. And Dad and I have always been at her side, and we've always helped her. And we've said, Amy, look, life is hard, but it's not impossible. I was just telling my friends about the stress unit.
Yeah.
How I had considered going, and just to work through some things.
Yeah.
And we don't want to put a bad name about the stress unit. It's not a mental institution. I mean, Amy's been there quite a few times, and we've helped her. We've helped her.
She hasn't been there in a long time.
Yeah, she hasn't been in the stress unit in a long time, which is good. Now she has learned how to cope and manage. She gets stressed out about things, but she learns how to manage. She knows how to manage. She was taught those tools specifically, that when you're in a dilemma, you know how to deal with it.
To help you with your van.
Not knowing my van.
Yeah.
Well,
like a jump battery charger and all that, so that you can still use your van if you need to. I know. I'm trying to find my.
Is the coffee gone?
I don't know, but Dad check.
Cause I got a hole in my cup.
I think so.
I'll be wrapping this up pretty soon anyway, but. So, I know what your plans are for today. I don't know what my plans are.
Dealing with someone I don't want to.
I don't know what I'm doing today.
I don't mind.
Yeah, there's still some in there.
Okay.
I've learned to deal with my brother.
Yeah.
But it's my mother. She says a lot of rude stuff to me, and it's not appropriate that she says, but
yeah.
it's one of them where she's your mother, so you just accept what she says, and with everything that's going on with her, it's just like, okay.
That's why there's certain people I don't associate with just because their comments are rude and insensitive, and it's like,
I tell them like it is.
It's like, have some compassion, have some some sympathy. Show a little bit of fucking empathy.
I tell them like it is. They don't like it. Fuck them.
Yeah, you
I tell
know.
them like it is. I tell her not like it is, or her brother. I don't care.
Yeah, you know.
The way it is.
That's pretty much our attitude. Just
Okay, good. We do
fuck
that.
'em. All right. Well, I'll probably be here considering I don't have a lot of gas in my
The van
van.
started out, and I shut it off.
Okay.
Started.
I might even go up to. I don't know. I might find something to do.
Take care of the kids.
Yeah. But anyway, they're gone now. They're headed to Owasso. And now I've got the house all to myself, so I'm not even sure what's going on today. I don't know what my plans are. I might just hang here at home, have some time to myself. Or I might video chat with some friends. I don't know. I'll figure out something. But anyway, I thank you all so much for watching another installment of the Sunday video update. My name is Jared Fuller. Thank you so much for watching. And if you would like to connect with me on Facebook, please do. The profile picture is right down there in the corner. It's the same as my Facebook profile. So if you type in Jared Fuller, you'll see that down there. That that profile picture down in the corner. It's the same thing as my Facebook. So message me, say hello, send me a friend's request. We'll connect. But much love to all of you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week. I'll have, I had written a poem called the Valentine's Poem last week, which I mentioned towards the beginning of the video. I'll have that poem video up, so that's probably what I'll be doing once I'm done here. I'll be uploading that video. So much love to all of you. Have a wonderful rest of your week. No mail tomorrow. It's President's Day. If you are in a state where cold and snowy weather is expected, stay warm, drive safe, and look out for your neighbors. And I'll see you all again next week. Take care.